If I walk into a room with a bunch of black people, I instantly feel calm.
Back then, do you think the fact that you were a white guy coming up, that you had a little bit of flavor to you, that just made you stand out, that you were kind of getting like,
I think,
a threat to like other guys because you were in your own lane?
I think the uniqueness of me when it comes to that is, I think people forget I'm white and they don't even see me as that. And you gotta understand that my formative years I was completely isolated from white people. Like the guards were my enemies, the Aryans were my enemies. I had no contact with white people, and anybody that was white that got too close to me was a potential enemy. So it's not anything in me that's trying to emulate or be a part of black culture. It's just literally I was raised from a very young age, especially being in Asia, Tibetan father. I wasn't raised in the paradigm of white society. I never was taught those things, and I was taught the exact opposite. And I come from hippie stock. My parents straight hippies. And on the flip side, they weren't just hippies, they were hippies on the revolutionary side. They were part of the Symbionese Liberation Army, which is sort of the white version of the Black Panthers. So I was kind of raised with this revolution, power to the people mentality. And then that coupled with the fact that, I was isolated from white people, and the people who I, were closest to me were black dudes. And that just never, it just evolved into such a natural thing. It took me a long time to even understand that I was white. I was just something else. Do you know what I mean? And I never felt, like if I walk into a room with a bunch of white people, I get uncomfortable. If I walk into a room with a bunch of black people, I instantly feel calm. Because I know what it is, and I know how to interact, and I know what's expected, and I don't know how to act around white people. Like I really kind of don't. And it's kind of weird because then I got to put on sort of like the white voice that I don't really have, and then everyone's looking at me like, why are you acting like that? It's a weird setup.
Right.
But I also want to start talking, that's what this special is about, is I just want to get back to myself, starting to explain why I'm the way I am and some of the jail stories and some of the humor behind that. And it's sort of a biopic, in a sense, a verbal biopic.
When I look at this, everything is pros and cons. Everything has pros and cons. So when I see you coming up as a white man who's naturally part of black culture, and I think about a comedian now where our biggest comedians are black. Do you think that has kind of hindered you? If you were black, do you think your career might be different?
I mean, that's really a hard one to say. I don't think my material would be that much different. Not really. I don't think it would be that different. And I don't think that I stand out specifically because I'm white, because, I don't get a lot of love from the white circuit or white clubs. And I don't think that anybody in the business views me as a white comedian. It's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, I've never really put much thought into that. I've thought my life might be easier on an interpersonal level if I was black, but never on a just in
being in your element.
There's an element of me that's never fully accepted by anybody, because white people don't really accept me. And when it really comes down to it, black people do, but there's always in the back of their mind, he's still a white dude. You know what I mean? And I've been, underbit and backstabbed by black dudes because of that factor, but I don't blame black people for it. I blame you, Terrence, or whoever the hell you are. You know what I mean? That person. Right. I've had way more, I've been hurt way more by white people as a whole than I have by black people. And it's like the white DA in my case. He wanted to make an example of me. He was trying to put me under the prison, but the black judge took mercy on me. A black judge sentenced me. And he just basically saw me as a person. And, he said, I believe God has a plan for this kid. I don't think he's a hardened criminal. I'm not going to send him away for the rest of his life.